Good morning, everyone. Quite early here, and the sun isn't up yet. It's Thursday, September 16. And something to think about today. We've done this before, and it's always amazing. Is speech. It sounds so silly, doesn't it? To practice, control your speech. In the way we think about ourselves in the world, we're kind of this big lump of me plodding through life, We know we have a body, and we know there's a speech, and we know maybe we think we have a mind, but we probably think it's our body, it's a brain, it's okay. But this Buddhist approach is kind of interesting. It divides us into body, speech, and mind, And the mind, of course, is the boss. Even that we're not even sure sometimes. We just think, I do something, But if we really analyze it, everything starts with the mind. So that's why we have to finally become actually the real job is being our own therapist. Unpacking and unraveling, identifying, looking at, seeing clearly what goes on in the mind. Because the mind drives the body and speech. The body and speech is, so what's the relationship, what's the point of this? Because that's what other people see. They can't see our mind. They see what we show. They see the way we behave, and they see how we speak, and that's what impacts upon others. That's how we benefit others, and that's how we harm others. So given that the very first level of practice then, the entire job, the actual job is to watch your mind, is to change the mind. That's the job of being a Buddhist. But you've got to control the servants of the mind first, because that's what they're the troublemakers. Okay, we forget about the good makers too. So if we could, especially if we have, most of us have uncontrolled speech. Some people are very locked inside and their speech is not a major problem. Maybe they've got to learn to say more. But most of us just, everything pours out the mouth, We don't even know what's going on in our mind until it comes to the mouth. And it's way too late. This is the problem. So, of course, where does this happen? Not on the street necessarily, but it happens in our relationships, the intense relationships, the close ones, parents, beloveds, close friends, siblings, so on, So we've got to watch our speech. So somehow, if you do that practice every day called the four opponent powers, it's kind of at the end of the day, you clean up your act, and you make a decision. If you know your speech, you know what's the problem. Tomorrow I'm going to watch my speech like a hawk. And then when you wake up in the morning, you know who you're going to see today. So you're going to make a firm decision. And when we make a firm decision, we know we're going to do it. Control the speech. And I swear, if we can do that in one day, it already brings a change, I tell you. To you and absolutely to your relationships. So give it a try. Control your speech. Be very cautious,